Should I stop recording?
That would have been a perfect moment for the soundboard.
Yeah.
Wrong one. Wrong one.
Wait, which one would it be?
The shum. But it's too late now. The moment's gone.
All right, so yo, AJ, make a start, man.
Cool. Is everyone ready to start?
Ready.
Yeah, man.
I don't really want to do a typical introduction. Even if we start naturally, it's calm, so we can just start.
Let's just get into it.
We can just start from now. How's everyone been? What's everyone been up to? How's your lockdown 2.0 been?
Should we start with
Whoa! Someone's been slamming doors and stuff in the background. You know, who is that? Wakard, is that you?
It's not me, man. Why is it me every time?
You're the only person capable of messing this up.
It's
No,
so
it's not
good.
me,
It's so
man.
good. Carry on.
Cool. So yeah, how is everyone? How's your lockdown?
Alhamdulillah, man. It's been a bit of a journey, but you know, I'm kind of getting used to it, to be honest.
Journey to what?
You know, just through lockdown, not having work, you know, lack of motivation, gyms being closed, etc., etc.
When you say not having work, are you furloughed?
Yes, I am.
Okay, fine. Were
And
you
it's been-
furloughed were you furloughed the last time there was
I
a lockdown?
was. Yes.
Okay, so you're not getting used to anything. You've been used to it before, right? It's just
Yeah,
readjusted.
but just saying, like, you know, 8 months without work is different, and
Oh, okay. You've been furloughed for the whole time since this whole
Yeah.
Corona thing started.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit
Yo,
mad.
you could have built something by now, so then.
oh yeah, I'm making a spaceship. So
Oh, what's everyone else been up to?
Chilling, bro. Lockdown. I mean, working from home, lockdown. It's the same thing, man. I've been doing it for years now, so nothing new. Nothing new.
Well, God, what about you? Apart from slamming doors,
No. Yo.
We need that badum tish now.
I'm not gonna do that on when it's at my expense. But yeah. Yeah, it's been good, man. Just been working from yard. I mean, I'm used to it, man. I'm used to it. I feel like this is my new way of life. It'll probably be weird for me to go back into work, to be honest.
do you know what? I've had 2 holidays since Corona started, and that's more holidays that I've had in a year in my whole life. Some people would say that's irresponsible, traveling during a pandemic. But actually, I went Turkey twice, and I'd say that Turkey was a lot safer, or felt a lot safer than England did.
Do you know what the dumb thing is? Like, when it was normal, you weren't traveling at all, and now there's a lockdown. You're all over the gov.
Nah, it's not. It's not even that. I think obviously before Corona, I was still relatively early into buying my house, and then we've been in Corona for so long, and I hadn't had a holiday in so long. It was always my plan to go on holiday anyway. I was supposed to go Umrah in April, that fell through. So yeah, the opportunity came to go to Antalya. Went to Antalya, and recently, obviously, came back from Istanbul. I'm still in quarantine right now. I was supposed to get a haircut in Turkey, and I wish I did. I'm out here looking like a tramp. I came back to England.
Why are you in
when,
lockdown? I mean, why are you in quarantine? Isn't Turkey off the list?
No, it was. Imagine I booked it at 4 p.m. Yeah, it was on a travel corridor list. An hour later, it was taken off. So I was a bit unlucky.
Wait, where's Hani Pochanewa? You know what it is?
I was just about to ask him.
Do you know why? You know what it is? Because we're signed in from the same thingy. It looks like it's just one person.
Yeah.
Samaves.
Yeah, I've been working a lot, mate, and I've left my job yesterday. That was my last day. So, second lockdown, I've been very lucky for me. I found my permanent job. So, alhamdulillah,
That's
yeah.
good, man. Congratulations.
What's this new accent you got going on, Aves?
What new accent?
I've been
What is
alright,
new?
mate. You know, I said, mate.
I think
That's what God say, bro.
No,
He's
it's
getting
just
ready for
because-
Dorset, man.
No. Because I've been working in Carton for long, yeah. So there are a lot of old people I used to talk to every day. So probably that.
You're right, mate.
Do you know with this lockdown, yeah? Obviously, they've extended the furlough scheme now till March. I've got a feeling that even though they're saying it's going to be for a month, it's going to be for a lot longer, just because of the fact that they extended the furlough scheme for that long.
After Christmas, though, they'll open up for Christmas to do their whatever they do, and then they'll lock down again.
Yeah, and they put everything on hold then.
Yeah, because I think is going to happen will come 2nd of December. The cases are obviously, God forbid, but I mean, looking at the trends now, I think the cases are going to continue to rise. And then they'll extend the lockdown, but I guess they'll say something like Christmas Eve and Christmas will ease the measures, and then we'll apply the lockdown again. I don't know. I just find it really comical, especially if you lot remember when it was Eid, like all the Muslim or the Muslim populated areas, they went into the strict lockdown rules just because they knew that Eid weekend was coming. But I know that they won't have the same energy when it comes to Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Racist.
I don't think it was all the Muslim areas, to be honest, because like Birmingham was a bit easy.
Nah, man.
Now, bro, when you're talking Greater Manchester, or say like even above that, like Bradford and that, yeah, that's Muslim, man.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
I suppose.
And they know what us Pakis are like, especially when it comes to Eid.
I can't believe you're 28 and you're still saying the word Paki.
Yeah.
Pakistanis.
Yeah, delicious.
You're 28, right?
Yeah, I'm 28. Yeah.
Yo, you're actually still young. And
Sultan, we should run away, man. They're all young, underage people.
I know. I'm literally like the odd one out now.
Speaking of Paki, yeah, I watched this. I'll forward it into the group later. I watched this clip from EastEnders, 1985 or something like that. Dot Cotton, and she's talking about this other character. His name's Saeed. He's Pakistani, and she's writing a letter to him. And her son comes up to her. Her son Nick Cotton, and he goes, "Mum, are you writing a letter to Saeed?" And she goes, "No. Why would I write a letter to that heathen?" And he goes, "How do you know he's a heathen?" She goes, "Because he's brown and something Pakis." She basically uses the word Pakis. She goes, because of something like them brown people are heathens or something like that. And then she actually uses the word Pakis. I mean,
heathen are like hellbound.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's strange because it sounds like heaven.
Heathens is basically the English word for kafir.
Seriously.
But more recently, you know, there's
English word for kafir is a non-Muslim.
You know, Citizen Khan. That's quite popular as well, and they use the word Paki in there all the time.
Yeah, but they're Pakis, man.
I suppose.
what a bad example, man.
It's not a bad example. But the thing is, their characters are Pakis within that
I sent the video to the group.
I've got to retract the statement, boys. The English word for a kafir is a non-believer, not a non-Muslim.
Yeah, so that's what Dot meant when she said heathen, like a non-believer, because obviously she's a Christian.
Yeah.
So obviously she's not going to use the word kafir. She's not Muslim. It would be a bit strange.
Yeah. So did anyone see Kell Brook get knocked out last night?
Yeah, man.
To be honest, it was expected. I knew he was going to get knocked out.
I didn't even know he was fighting.
Yeah, but I think that's the end for him. The only fight left for him is Amir Khan now.
You know what? So before this one, he only lost to Errol Spence and Triple G, right?
Yeah.
I think he's and he didn't do too bad in the beginning.
Well,
I don't think he's on his way out.
I think he is, because the reason I say that is because he's damaged two of his eye sockets in the Errol Spence loss and the Triple G loss. Yeah. And then even in this fight, I think there was something wrong with his eye. That's why he kind of like lost his equilibrium and stuff.
His orbital bone, wasn't it?
Yeah, his orbital bone. So I think there's something wrong there, like permanent damage or suspect damage.
If we start talking about boxing, it's not gonna end, especially with September, bro.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Let's just stay
This
away.
guy's a
I just
boxing
thought it was
connoisseur, man.
a bit of a British thing, so I'd bring it up.
So then I've got a question, yeah, and this
Go on.
question probably applies to you more than any of us. Certainly not me, because I've been working throughout the whole period since lockdown started. But don't you think it's ideal the fact that you're getting paid and not working? Because imagine, right,
Yeah.
life before Corona.
Mm.
It'd be Sunday, yeah. The weekend
Yeah.
would come, and then Sunday night, and you're thinking, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
I've got to go to work tomorrow. I wish I could get paid without having to work."
Mm.
Do you think that still applies now?
Not really. I'd rather work. I honestly, I'm the type of person that has ants in his pants, and I can't stay at home. I don't like not doing anything. I like having structure. When I say structure, I mean like I know I have to wake up for this time. I know I have to go to the gym at this time. I know I have to cook at this time. It
Routine.
just makes me more productive. But right now, everything's up in the air. I don't know what date it is. I don't know what day it is. It's just not me, and I can't function like this. So more recently, I've started this gym program just to give me a tiny bit more structure in my life, which is helpful. But then again, not having work is not the same. I just feel like it's just the natural thing to do when you're young and you're hungry.
Do you? I mean, what have you been doing since you've not been working? And be honest, yeah, and give me an honest answer. When you found out that you were going to get paid without working, were you excited at having the spare time?
Okay.
Initially,
Yeah. Initially, I don't know. I wasn't even sure what was going to happen. I had a feeling that it would fall through in the sense that the government was going to ask for the money back, and I was a bit of in two minds in that regard. But other than that, since I've been on furlough, it's given me time to do a lot more things. Spend time with family to begin with, and then there's other things like trading shares. So I've really gone hard in trading shares. So I'm investing periodically every month. It requires a lot of background research. Researching which companies might go up in price, what company pays good dividends, and there's a lot of speculation. So you have to stay on your toes with that regard.
but that's an advantage, right? I've not been furloughed, but if I was furloughed and I had all of that spare time, and obviously I was getting paid, I would look at alternative ways of getting paid by, I don't know, investing in stocks, for example. I think a lot of people at the moment are investing in stock because it's like you're at home, you need something to do, so why not, do something that occupies your time and makes money at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
people say that, but the momentum lasts like a couple of weeks.
it does. I've been doing, like I said, with stocks, it's a long term thing. Just for anyone out there who wants to invest,
I don't even mean stocks. I mean like using
with
that
anything.
time on furlough.
Yeah.
To do something else, to build something else. That momentum, that you can be really motivated for 2 weeks, and then after that, you're like, "What is this, man?"
Yeah.
Did you try it?
Yeah, of course. Like when I was on furlough, I didn't get a lot done, to be honest, man. I was like procrastinating on one exam for like 3 months. But like second time round, when I left my job, I'd say I've been more productive this time around. But when you think back, you're just like, raw, all that time
I could have done.
The craziest thing, is when I've spoken to people that been in prison, and I asked them like, oh, like if there was anything that you could basically that you've learned in prison, and they tend to say that they miss the structure. Because it enables them to get on with things, like it enables them to work out and do all these different things, and these are guys like that have been in and out of prison. And when they're out of prison, they're like, oh, we've got all the spare time in the world, no job, and they just get up to no good.
Routine to routine.
A lot of criminals. I know this criminal. He's quite close to. This is going to sound so dodgy, but he's quite close to our family. But when I say that, what I mean is that he's a member of a family that we're close to, right? And he spent. Imagine this, yeah. He spent more of his life in prison than the actual world. And whenever he comes out, after he's been in, 2 weeks later, he's back in prison just because he comes out, he's got no structure, he doesn't know what to do, and he just ends up doing something stupid and finds himself back in.
Prison is in this world, right?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I just thought
you know what I meant. So why did you have to get technical? Why did you have to get technical?
We need a badum test there, man.
Yeah.
Oh God, you're slow with it. Give host.
He's not doing justice to the soundboard.
Give host capabilities to AJ, man.
How do I do that? I'm not sure how to do that.
Oh nah, AJ, you've run out of your trial, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh well, we move.
Yeah.
So what else has been happening?
Come to that, man. What was you going to discuss today? You had some topic, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of just wanted it to flow naturally. So I didn't want to talk about the specific topic. I kind of wanted us to just have a conversation, and then eventually it would lead to the topic.
We spent 18 minutes talking about ourselves, man.
Not necessarily. All
right, 16.
I'd say we've had a pretty good conversation, and we've actually spoken about real life issues here. So
I agree.
I think it's been productive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus it's relatable as well, right? Because there's a lot of people out here that are listening but are still currently on furlough, like Sibten, and are probably listening to this thinking, do you know what? A lot of the stuff these boys are saying applies to me.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of I would suspect a lot of people who are not eligible for this, like the furlough scheme, are probably still taking advantage of it. Do you reckon?
I'd say employers are taking advantage of it. People like employees, they get furloughed. They don't they say, "Oh, I'm going."
Yeah, no, but imagine, like, say for example, I don't know, a convenience shop. Yeah, I'm talking about the Pakistanis here. So convenience shop, and the guy's got a couple of employees. Do you reckon some people are sort of claiming furlough for the employees, kind of thing?
Probably, yeah,
and getting them to work still.
Yeah, I know of a few people that are furloughed, but they're still actually working some hours, if that makes sense. So the people that they're working for, their employers, are actually manipulating the furlough scheme or taking advantage of it.
Do you reckon that's halal earnings?
No.
But for the employee, it's not really in his hands, is it?
Not really. No, I wouldn't say it's the employee's fault. Everyone needs money, right? We need money to live. It's a necessity. So, I mean, if their employer is offering them a different way of working, and the employer is actually, manipulating the system, I don't think it's on the employee.
Yeah,
the employee's not going to say, well, I'm not going to work. Don't pay me. My family can just live off scraps. They're going to go with it because, everyone needs a job, especially during these times.
Like, for me personally, if I knew my employer was doing that, I'd probably. I know what you're saying. Like, you need money and stuff, but for me, I would just double, triple kind of check with the employer that he's not done that, and kind of I'd be a bit cautious, because at the end of the day, it's like money that I'm gonna use to feed my child, my family. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
so
but
I'd probably
let's say you had a conventional job, right? A 9 to 5, or let's say you were working retail, for example, and you needed the money. You got bills to pay. In your situation currently, you're looking to buy a house, right? So having a job and keeping a job is pretty much vital for the process. So if your employer came to you right now and said, "Look, I want you to work these hours, even though you're not supposed to, and I'll put you on the furlough scheme," you're not going to then turn around and say, "Look, I don't think that's right," and risk losing your job.
No, I probably would. I'll
really?
be honest with you. Yeah.
You can't get sacked for that anyway, so you're not going to lose your job. Well, I mean, I can note this question down for you boys, and I can ask it to my teachers. It's a bit of a thicky question.
Yeah,
like me personally, there's like certain lines that, like, even if it does mean that I can't buy a house or whatever, or if it gets in the way of things, I just don't cross those lines, man. Because I feel like there's much longer, like in terms of my own, like myself, it's detrimental to me. Because if I do that, then I'll do other things, you know. It opens doors for me to make other things acceptable. So I just don't even go there.
Yeah,
I
fair enough.
That's a good way to be. I like that.
Yeah, and that's really commendable as well. And then Akib, you mentioned about the topic that I wanted to discuss. It was actually this is what I wanted to happen, like the conversation to flow towards this direction. So we can actually talk about what I had in mind. And what I had in mind was, you know, what like for example, the other day when I was like really stressed at work, right, I was thinking about the furlough scheme, and I was thinking, do you know what, if I was furloughed, I'd have so much time to, you know, actually do my own thing and look at alternative ways to make some income, like essentially become my own boss. I see so many success stories and so many people, I know so many people around me that earn so much passive income or whatnot, but I'm at the same time held back from doing so because a lot of the ways that these people earn money, like having multiple properties and stuff through conventional mortgages, essentially it's haram money, right? And that prevents me from going down that road, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess that's something that I thought would be good to have a chat about, especially in a country like this where, you know, more often than not, or maybe specifically in London, you need to pretty much pay to breathe. And yeah, like money is such a fitna, and I think in the West, in the country that we're currently in, I think an even bigger fitna than, you know, anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, I agree, man. I feel like it is like people will sort of turn around and say, well, you know, you're living here, so you gotta sort of go with the, you know, go with the rules or whatever. But there are increasingly, like, I could open my eyes to Islamic investment. You know, there's a lot of platforms that are out there. For example, if you wanna trade in shares and that kind of stuff, there's a platform. Arkib, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a platform that sort of tells you, yes, certain investments are halal and which ones aren't. It's like, for me, that's like going into a shop and buying a sweet and checking if it's got gelatin in it. So that's I think increasingly we should be more aware, because there are more enablers and more sort of Islamic sort of driven services which you can earn passive income. But people have to make that effort to check and double check, you know.
Yeah, Islamic finance, man, is a massive market.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what? We need, like, I'm not personally aware of, like, I'm probably aware of like one or two muftis that specialize in Islamic finance, but we need a lot more of them, especially in the West, man.
Yeah, and I feel like we need who are the people that study economics, like economists? Is that economists and them kind of people who muftis who are sort of in tune with the workings of British economy and the Western economy, so that they can sort of make a better judgment on what is halal or what is haram. Because I feel like a lot of these newer sort of crypto and all these different things, it needs somebody who's knows in depth about them and can obviously knows Islam and can sort of marry the two and see what's right and what's wrong. But I feel like that is missing.
Yeah, I reckon if I could go back to uni and study something, it would probably be Islamic finance, man. Even though, like, I'm not like a big fan of numbers and stuff, but it's an area that's like massively interesting. It's growing rapidly, and at the end of the day, like, living in this country, you can earn money, but so many of the ways are questionable.
Yeah, like property in a country like this is so tempting, but at the same time, it's it's so difficult. Well, God, you're currently buying a property on an Islamic finance. What's that like? And if you ever went down the road of building a property portfolio, would you finance it through an Islamic bank based on your experience already?
Yeah, so the bank I went with is called Al Rayan Bank, and I'll be honest, their customer service is rubbish. And the reason, I feel like they've got a monopoly on Islamic mortgages, which is why they can afford to have that sort of customer service or lack of customer service. But it is what it is. I can't go the conventional route. So overall, it's taken about 3 months longer than it would have taken if I went the normal route.
Just
but-
on that customers. Okay,
Yeah.
carry on. Then I guess I'll button up.
So, go on, ask the question.
I was just going to say, just on that customer service thing, I think a lot of Muslim businesses, they struggle with that, the customer service aspect.
Yeah, I feel like they should bring in sort of experts, customer service kind of, people who have been
Training.
doing this, even if they're not Muslim. Like, they should bring in experts, because this is like, for example, Islamic financing is a product that affects millions across the UK. And having a non-Muslim, and like, regardless of what your background is, we just need people who know their stuff. Like, for example, the customer service department needs an overhaul, and maybe bringing in somebody who's sort of changed customer services for good for other banks. It would be a wise thing to do.
More times it's just the owners interacting directly, isn't it?
Yeah, there was something to do with partners in the Middle East that were pulling out of some kind of deal with Al Rayan, which caused lots of delays and that kind of stuff. So some of the things are not really in our hands. But overall, I'm glad that it's even like I have the opportunity to get an Islamic mortgage. If
It's
I'm
quite
honest.
difficult to actually, for say, how Al Rayan, obviously they're funded now quite massively, but to set up an organization like that, which requires substantial funds, it's like, in the Muslim world, it's kind of unheard of, because where are you going to get that investment from? Where are you going to get Sharia compliant funding from in the first place?
Yeah,
You're not going to borrow it off like
yeah.
the local banks and stuff.
Yeah, but you have to give it you have to appreciate the British government, because they're basically they're liaising with Al Rayan now, and they're trying to set a separate a separate pot in the British what's the bank called, the Bank of Britain,
England.
yeah, Bank of England, yeah. So they're going to set aside a separate pot that hasn't been through the sort of interest and that kind of income, just for Islamic finance.
Do you remember?
It's going to take some time, but they are considering it.
Do you remember Lloyd's tried Islamic banking as well? I don't know if they still exist.
HSBC did as well, I believe.
HSBC did quite a bit in terms of like the stock market.
Yeah. A lot of banks did. I think a lot of the major banks had an Islamic alternative. But
you know what? I reckon they must have not, because back then demand must have been not that high, and then they must have come out of it. But now, like, I recently done like a research session with a MasterCard researcher, I guess you could call it. And they're a massive brand, bro. And even they're looking to speak with people like entrepreneurs and stuff to see if there's an actual demand out there. So if MasterCard get on it, and these big brands get on it, then it can create that buzz. But
yeah, I mean, we're not a small community; we're a very big community.
Well,
and it's not
question for you.
Unreasonable, yeah.
So I've heard from a few sources that when you go through Islamic banking to mortgage your house or seek finance for a house, you end up paying more than you would on a normal mortgage. Is that the case with you? What's your feedback on that?
Yeah. So overall, yes, the rates are quite high. As in, the rental that you pay every month is a lot higher, and overall you do end up paying more. But my plans are to, but they don't have any early payment penalties. So
Right. Okay.
if you want to pay it off a lot sooner, if you've
Mm.
got, if you're making money, like you've got money saved up and stuff, and you want to pay it off a lot sooner, you can do that.
Okay.
And that's my intention anyways.
They
I'm not
don't.
looking to carry out the full term.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pay it off.
they don't intentionally make it more expensive. There's obviously reasons, and that's obviously one of them is the lack of funding that they get,
Mm.
the ease of it. There's actually a whole article on this by a company called IFG.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you like afterwards. I think you might have seen it before as well, but they actually explain why Islamic banks
Mm.
or Islamic mortgages, why they're higher than the conventional sort of high street mortgage.
Right.
And there's actually underlying reasons for that. They don't just do it because they're a monopoly,
Mm.
but it's quite technical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, they
But
don't take money from the Central Bank of England, do they?
no, they don't. Not yet. So that's what they're trying to arrange, a separate pot, which hasn't gone through the sort of interest and that kind of thing.
And that will be from the Central Bank of England.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so would that potentially mean lower rates?
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. They've been talking about it for a few years now. And before COVID, they were actually gonna sort of implement it to some degree, but then COVID happened. So we'll see what happens.
And it is a business at the end of the day, and they have to cover their costs and everything as well. So obviously, if they're not bothering, or if they're not taking money even from the Central Bank of England, then they have to cover their cover their side.
Yeah. To be honest, I was glad once they gave me the offer. I genuinely thought that it was going to fall through because of how long it was taking.
Yo, has it come through?
Yeah. So they've sent me an offer, and it's just the final stage.
And,
Congrats.
When's your moving date?
I haven't done that yet. So,
bro,
that's actually separate from the offer, man. You get the offer, and then that's when you tie it up basically and agree a date to complete the sale with the seller.
Yo, listen,
Yeah.
we need to set up a Connotasians studio there.
Yeah, man.
I bought expensive camera, I bought lighting, I bought jazz, so we need to set that stuff up.
Yeah, I've got there's a garage there that I want to convert into an office, and that's gonna have all of that stuff in there. But I'm looking to do that next, like around February, March time.
Yeah. In the meantime, we'll use the green screen and pretend we're somewhere else.
On the islands.
I'll see you on the beach.
Where?
Beach.
Oh yeah, Aves is moving to Dorset, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Oh geez, why are you moving to Dorset?
We've got a job there.
Okay, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
So are you moving just because of the job, or was it your long-term plan to move
to Dorset
anyway? I don't know. Maybe he went there once and fell in love.
No. That wasn't the case, and I've just got a job there, so they have to move. Can't really.
It's strange, isn't it? Because it's strange, isn't it? Because a lot of companies are saying bang out remote work, but
yeah, that's what's happening, man.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that I know that have gone into work recently are working for organizations that are far from where they live, but they get to work remotely. And I take it your job's in IT, right?
Yeah, software developer.
Okay, and you have to go into the office.
Yeah, it involves a lot of things. Like they have few products, so first they're going to train me on that, and then they're going to put me on it's a 1 week on call. Basically, whatever happens, if there's a complaint or system is down, you have to be around in the office to check out what's going on, and then half part of the job is developing new products or softwares.
Okay. I understand.
AJ, do you wanna come camping?
Camping?
Yeah, wild camping.
When and where?
November, end of November, and I don't know, somewhere in Scotland.
What the
I'm
End
down.
of November. You know we're in a lockdown, right?
World Camp is allowed in lockdown.
Is it?
Yeah, of course
It's
it is.
nature.
I swear that you're not allowed non-essential travel, and that's non-essential travel.
Well, it
It's
is. It's essential for our mental.
And you're baiting yourself up. You better hope a Fed don't listen to this. Otherwise, you're going to be tracked end of November. I'm innocent. I'm not going. I've just been invited.
Yo, I got a question. You know, these people that take your name and your number down as part of track and trace, on paper, they don't take it on like any QR codes or any device or any app or whatever. What did they do with it?
They sell it to insurance companies.
Nah. No,
Do
Moscow
they?
won't be doing that.
Yeah. And when you received calls recently.
I mean, you could put down a fake name and number anyway. They wouldn't know.
No,
True.
but you get fined for that. Listen,
But how would they know it's you?
Yeah, that's the thing, innit? This whole track and trace thing, I feel like they should have got us to implement it, man. We would have done a much better job.
You know, when I came back from Turkey, I had to fill in a form. It was a contact identifier or something form that you have to fill in when you come back into the country, and it was quite strict on it. So I read that you had to fill this in. If you didn't fill this in and you came back into the UK, then you were going to have issues or delays with getting through border control. So I did that form, filled it in. Took ages. I think it's longer than than it should be.
It's longer than what COVID lasts for.
Exactly. And look, the airport was completely empty when we got back, but no one checked anything. Literally, I just got my baggage, went through home, and that's it. That was the end of it.
Listen, who's got a shower on in the background?
That's Ben's microphone, I think.
It's not my microphone. Oh, it actually is, but it's because the laptop's fan is spinning, and I'll move it away to see if it's a bit better.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
Laptop fan.
all right, listen. Do you know that track and trace thing?
Yeah.
I filled it in. Imagine this: when I got back from Turkey, I filled it in and everything, and I locked down myself in it, so I was in quarantine. And on the 13th day, I found out Turkey wasn't even on the list. Then, so I wasted 2 weeks in quarantine when I didn't even need to.
He's serious.
Yeah.
That was just silly. Why did you do that? How did you not know it was? How did you not know it was on a list? How did you not know it was on a list even?
You know what, the Gov website in that is confusing, man, because it's in terms of the language, it's like
it's in English.
I know, no, I mean language, like the copywriting. The way it writes it, it's like whatever's on that list, you're allowed to travel there. Or the other way.
Oh, I see.
No.
If
it's on the list, you're allowed to travel.
Yeah.
If it's not on the list, you're not allowed to travel.
Yeah, Turkey wasn't on the list.
Yeah, it was, man.
No,
you went like a week or two after me.
Before
when I first went to Antalya.
Why did you
when I went to Antalya the first time, it was on the list, meaning that you were allowed to travel there.
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand. Like on the list, off the list, what do I do with that? That's what I didn't understand.
That's because you didn't read up on it properly.
Yeah, that was a big waste of.
HMRC need to stop paying these. There's these big consultancies and paying all of this coronavirus funding to get these things made. Yeah, these, like, what you're saying about the UI and all that, it being you're not understanding it.
Yeah,
they need to send that money over here, man. We're doing a much better job.
I worked for the government before, and the UI is basically the designers. They're not responsible for the copyright, and they have copywriters themselves, and they're usually very good because Gov's all about simple English.
Yeah,
they're usually very good, but this one clearly they missed out on a user researcher like me.
Yo, do any of you have NHS app installed on your phone?
No,
I've had to get it when I went to a restaurant.
I'll tell you something interesting, that you probably didn't know, especially if you didn't know what a travel corridor list was. So if you've got that app, and someone within, I think it's a 3 mile radius, it could be less, whatever. If someone within your vicinity has coronavirus, whether it's the neighbor or the person across the road, you have to quarantine for 9 days, and your app picks up on it and it notifies you.
Yeah, I'm not installing any of that.
It notifies you and tells you that you have to quarantine.
Does it notify the government?
Oh,
Well, it's a government app.
One thing I don't understand, yeah, you know how you must have seen online on Twitter and stuff, yeah, people like getting messages from this track and trace thing. How does someone's details transfer over into someone else's through that thing? I don't get that.
What do you
So
mean?
basically, there was like a few cases where someone went to a hospital and they went to get treatment or whatever, and they've like the nurse or whatever, they've turned around and messaged them later or found them or something. So how does that work? Like, do they get, I don't know, what gets shared with them?
National insurance number, I guess.
How did they find their contact through national?
Wait, when I downloaded the app, yeah.
No, you're bare loud.
app,
You're bare loud.
That's because I'm shouting. But when I downloaded the app, yeah, it didn't ask me for any details.
Oh, no, allow the app. I'm talking about the iPhone thing. You know the iPhone COVID-19 toggle.
The app, that's what I'm talking about. Wait, the toggle.
The iPhone one, yeah.
I didn't realize there was a toggle on my phone. But
AJ, imagine you have that toggle on, yeah? It's on, but it's there, by the way. You need to turn it off if you don't know about it. So imagine you have it on, I have it on, and we meet, and one of us has got corona. It tells me somehow. But it also apparently tells me your details and stuff as well. Is that the case? What? That's what I'm trying to know.
Why would it tell you you're Boris? Are you Boris Johnson?
Nah, that's what I'm saying. How do people then find out each other through that?
I don't know, because I don't know what you're talking about. I've not seen anything on my phone apart from the app that I had.
All right. Anyway, did you know we've gone off topic?
Okay, so let me bring you guys back on topic. Yeah. So you know, I just want to give an example of, drawing the line. You remember I was asking,
I wanted to ask you a question on that, actually.
Go on.
So obviously you went down the road of down the path of Islamic mortgage.
Yeah.
What made you do that? What within your conscience made you decide that actually I'm not going to get a conventional mortgage, I'm going to get an Islamic mortgage?
I think one of the things was when I was told about the gravity, like, interest, taking interest, giving or receiving kind of thing, that how big of a sin it is in Islam, as in it's worse than a lot of things that if we done other things like, I don't know, gambling or whatever, it's a lot worse than that. But we tend to just brush it under the carpet.
What is this?
Sorry?
What are we talking about? Mortgages?
Mortgages, yeah.
Of course.
Conventional mortgages. So I just thought, okay, in my head, I thought, okay, I'm going to have to work for X number of years, and I'll probably get a big sum of money and probably buy a little flat outright. And I won't go down the mortgage route. But then I looked up Islamic finance, and a lot of the Islamic mortgages that banks are giving are not backed up by some kind of fatwa. And for me, that's like a guarantee to basically say that this is legit. There was a fatwa from my sect, so I'm Hanafi, that you can get your first mortgage for living in conventionally, but it's case by case basis. So when I spoke to the scholars, they assessed my case and they said you can't, like, you're not in a situation which
Akib, do you remember when we went to Nottingham and we went to a mosque and we spoke to that Maulvi, and he was talking to us about mortgages and stuff, and he basically told us that because we're in a non-Islamic country, it would be halal for us to take out a mortgage, or I don't know, something like that. He said, as long as you're buying your first home and it's out of necessity because it's your first and only home, and your intention is to not make money from it, it's to live in it, then it's haram for you to actually take out a conventional mortgage.
That's
something like that. I don't remember exactly what he said.
I was just going to mention it. So this topic is a massive topic, and it's got a difference of opinion on it, and there's valid difference of opinions on it. So it just depends, man. Like if you've got a teacher, or if you've got a sheikh, and you know, speak to them, discuss your case, and you know, take the opinion they give you. Obviously, I'd say like don't go around fatwa shopping, because a lot of people do that. Like, say if my nafs is telling me to now I want to engage in interest. No, okay, that might not be my intention, but I'm like looking around for a fatwa which like suits my
Yeah,
desire.
yeah,
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
yeah,
You
yeah,
can't do that. But
yeah,
at the same time, like if you've got a reliable sheikh, it's best to discuss your situation with them, because there are differences of opinion, and not just that case, but like riba as a whole.
yeah,
So
And intention I think is very important as well. Like for example, right, I enjoy making profit by buying and selling, but would I buy alcohol and sell it? No, I wouldn't, because it contradicts my faith, and I don't need money that much where it actually contradicts my faith, and I know that I'm doing something haram for money.
Yeah.
yeah. Do you reckon? I'm gonna ask. This is for everyone. Yeah. Do you reckon? Everyone. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about like the really strong-willed like Habib, or them kind of people. I'm talking about just us lot. We're kind of normal, sort of average kind of Muslims. Do you reckon we've got a price? Like there's a certain amount of money that can get us out of that line. That line that you draw. Do you reckon everyone has a price?
It
nah,
depends what it comes to. Like,
nah. I think there's
yeah,
some things that I just
It
you
depends on
can't
who
help.
you are, isn't it? It
Yeah,
depends on your character. Some people, yes, but for me, no. If someone offered me £1,000,000, yeah, and said you have to sell haram in order to get this £1,000,000, for me, it's not worth it, because at the end of the day, I'm bringing an income and I'm feeding my family with something
around,
that
yeah,
is haram,
yeah.
and I know in the long run I'm going to get punished. Whether it's in an afterlife or this life, I know that I'll never find true happiness from it.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I had an incident. This is going back about a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I first got married. Um, I was out of a job, so I just finished a contract and I just didn't have a job, and I ended up interviewing with Lockheed Martin. Um, they're like the company that build most of the missile systems that are used by the West. Um, so yeah, so I went for the interview. They offered me the role, and
Mm.
then obviously I knew about Lockheed Martin, and my head was like, "Get the role. You need you need it." And it was a contract. It was decent. It was like £470 a day. It was a good role, but I slept on it, and I spoke to my wife as well. I was like, "Listen, I should be taking this, but I don't know. There's something about it that just does scream. It's like it's screaming at me, like, don't, like, this is not right." So I spoke to the hiring agent and I said, "Look, I'm sorry, but I can't." And he was like, "Why?" And then he was Muslim as well, and he was Asian. So
Mm.
I said to him, "Look, the thing is, like, these Lockheed Martin, they're kind of responsible for a lot of the stuff, that's going on in the Middle East and stuff. Like, you know, they're actually responsible for quite a lot of deaths and stuff like that." And he was like, "Nah, these guys, this is a separate division. This is like the healthcare, blah 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 blah. So it doesn't have anything to do with that." So then I was like, "Okay, I'll think about it." So I basically, I must have spent a week just like having a internal battle, and I was like, it's going to be stupid if I say no to this, but I ended up saying no,
It's
and
that
it worked out for
yeah.
the best.
It's a tricky one, man, because obviously growing up, like we used to get told, like working. I mean, even if you're a cleaner in a bank,
Mm.
your income's haram, basically. But as you grow up, like there's, like you study more, or all that stuff, and there are opinions out there, and like strong opinions out there, where they say you can't blanket like haram things like that. Like if you know how you said working in a different department, it's
Mm.
a
Yeah,
separate thing. Like your morals and your values won't sit with a company which like is killing Muslims, for example.
Mm.
yeah,
But like how people put like a blanket like haram statement on, or you can't work for this bank because banks inherently
no,
engage with interest in that. I'm not saying it's halal or haram because I don't know, but I'm just saying like potentially there is leeway.
Yeah, I mean, I would not have judged anybody if they were in that same position and they got the role. I would not have judged them because I know that, and the people that I sort of, I'm not going to like, there was people who were close to me who I told about the role and stuff.
Yeah, and there's people that would
they
take
were,
it. Like if you look at drug dealers, bro, like they'll justify things. They'll justify selling drugs to like offers and that.
exactly,
So
exactly.
Yeah, and also I was speaking to someone the other day who was
That's
driving a car out of which a drug dealer was dealing. So he would literally just be the driver. He had nothing to do with the drug dealer buying or selling, blah blah blah. And he was actually trying to justify how what he was doing was right. Like it's not haram because he's just a driver.
but you know, you could also say that for, say, there's a landlord that takes interest like mad, and you're renting his property. Your rent is ultimately funding his mortgage repayments on interest. So it's a similar it's a similar concept. But
Yeah.
you know, these things have to be looked at case by case basis. Like we're not in a position to put blanket statements over these issues. But regardless, like he said, man, like that thing about Lockheed Martin. If your morals and your values are in line, then you're not going to work for a company like that, even if it's a different department. Like the profits and all these like SBUs and the business units, they you know they buy and sell to each other. So in a way, you are funding that if that's what their profits are going towards.
Yeah. I mean, it's like like the Ibi episode, where we spoke about joining the army and that kind of stuff. It's the same thing. I mean, the way they try and the way they initially try and sold it to me was, you'd be working with Lockheed Martin and what's that, what's the department for like defense and all that stuff.
Ministry of Defense,
like all of that stuff, and you'll be like, it's like protecting you. You're working for the country and that kind of stuff.
This army thing, you know, you mentioned that podcast is, you know, this week in Madrasa, well, the week just Saturday just gone, they were actually talking about, you know, working for the army and things like that. I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but it was.
But wouldn't you say that indirectly you are working for the army because our taxes fund the government's weaponry?
Don't pay your taxes then.
Still though,
But then if you don't pay your taxes, you're going against the law.
No,
so it's like, where do you draw the line?
But my taxes are going towards the NHS though.
Nah,
your national insurance is going towards that.
Yeah.
Plus, like,
if NHS gets bought out, national insurance, what will that go as well? Or will that become like your health insurance?
No idea. I think the national insurance covers more than just the NHS.
You know, the NHS, they need a really stingy like packy to govern the NHS, man. Because I would say in the past 2 years, no, check this here. I would say in the past 2 years, I must have got 3 or 4 different calls for projects with the NHS, and these are all like proof of concept projects. So they're not projects that they're looking to implement. They just got a bunch of money sitting around, and they're like, oh yeah, let's try this or let's try that, and they throw 100,000 here and 60,000 there just to try things out.
But they say that the NHS is underfunded, so
I mean,
are you basically saying they run badly?
They run really badly. You know the price of like how much would it cost you to get paracetamol from Asda or Tesco's? Like 50p, I think.
Probably less.
Probably less. It costs them like pounds. Like each of the packet is like for the NHS, it costs them pounds instead of pennies. So it's not very well managed, and that's why I was saying it needs a stingy packet, because they're just saving everything.
Yeah, I don't think government funds are managed very well, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you work for any of the departments and you see like the rates they pay, which are, probably the best in the market. And if you look at the workers, are they the best skilled?
Oh man, the workers are so underpaid, man. Like,
No, I mean like departments like
oh,
like tech roles, for example.
oh, seen.
Bro, like
Yeah,
the man
yeah.
are paying like £550 a day for a quote unquote interaction designer that's banging out HTML and CSS prototyping, which like
Yeah.
a beginner coder can do.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
And
it
the
is.
design is
That's,
like it's not even design. Well, it's designed, but it's not even design, bro. It's like the prototype kits and all that. They're there. It's just simple putting that stuff together. Honestly, like
yeah.
like, there's minimal effort. Like for if you're a designer and you want minimal effort for your money, go and work in the government.
And the other thing is, it's who like who you know as well now. So like they give these when big budgets get released, they have their friends on the line. These big companies, they're like, yeah, you'll get the project. Like, you have to go through a process where you put it out to the public, and then different companies have to bid for the project. But realistically, they do give projects to people that they're friends with and stuff. And even me, I work with the you know I am more likely to get another project with them because I'm quite friendly with them, and they know, they trust me and that kind of stuff.
It's
But
kind of baiting at your workplace, man. What if someone don't like you on this podcast and they
Yo,
decide,
you could just bleep out the name.
yeah, bleep, bleep out the name, man.
oh, you
Um,
wrong, bro? Honestly,
but wait, let me footnote that timeline footnote.
timestamp it. Yo, you can
Uh,
timestamp it and it press like I don't know,
bleep.
I can't believe this guy was for host, yeah, and he didn't utilize the soundboard.
innit?
Yeah, that's so true.
Mate, the episode that we recorded last week, before we started recording, obviously we were testing out the soundboard. I think I made pretty good use of it.
Yo,
What, during the testing?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah,
Because it's got music in it. Does this podcast become haram then?
that's an interesting debate. I was going to ask Wakar when he was talking about buying paracetamol from Asda. If you bought paracetamol from Asda, would it be haram because they sell alcohol and pork?
So look, this is the thing. In the country, in the country we live in, yeah, I feel like we're always touching on some kind of haram. But it's
Something
about,
or everything is always going to be contaminated in one way or another.
exactly.
It can't be
But
avoided.
Stop.
I feel like I feel like we need to make the effort to
conscious effort.
to how do you say it, like, minimize that.
But that's
You know
the
what I
thing,
mean?
right? Like, some things are avoidable. Like, for example, yeah, I want to ideally work for myself and have like a host of properties that I can make money from. But at the same time, although it is tempting for me to go down the conventional mortgage path, for example, at the same time, I'm not that desperate for money to a point where, I need it. Like, it's a want and not a need, and I think that's where your conscience has to come in. It's like, do I really need this? I probably don't. So if I can avoid it, then I will avoid it.
Yeah. The other thing is, if you got money, like a lot of Pakistani businesses and stuff, they have
Who's watching
like
these
they have.
tenders?
Who's getting told off by their wife?
Who's watching EastEnders?
Yeah, someone's watching it.
It's
I sent that video like 35 minutes ago, and you're watching it now.
Stop shouting. Hey Jay, just put it a little bit away, man.
I'm actually not close to the mic. I think I'm just talking really loud. I've got my
fully talk with yeah.
I've got my headphones in, and I can't hear myself speak. So that's probably why. Let me take one out. There we go.
Wait,
Where were we?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you know how, like, you go shopping, yeah, and you say, for example, you're buying eggs. I've started to, like, I've started to consciously buy,
Organic.
for example, free range organic eggs. Like, I know it's a little bit, like, obviously, and as Muslims, we should really support these kind of. I know it means they're a little bit more expensive, and it's not even, for me, it wasn't even like the health benefits and all that. It was like, as a Muslim, we should be putting
There is
money
no health
into.
benefits, not nutritionally anyway.
तेरे को बोल पैसे आ गए.
No, it's not that. Look, it's like, if there's a company that is treating hens and like their hens and stuff nicely, like free range, letting them roam around and stuff, I'd much rather pay a little bit more just to support that as a Muslim.
God, shall
Does
I
that
make
make
it a
sense?
bit more legit for you?
Go on.
There's a farm near Oxford called Willowbrook Farm,
Uh-huh.
and apparently it's Muslim owned, as far as
Oh,
I know.
okay.
And they do like free range eggs. They do some nice chicken, which is organically made and all that stuff.
Yeah, look, that kind of stuff here, these kind of things that we attribute to like the woke or quote unquote woke, or like these veganism and stuff. A lot of the things that they rally for and stuff, they are our values. We as Muslims, we should sort of be a little bit more conscious of them, like uh even if, like, for example, I've stopped going to, for example, KFC, even if it's halal, or Nando's, even if it's halal, because I know that the supply is probably the chickens and the meat and stuff.
The
It's
chicken is
probably,
stunned.
yeah, stunned, or even if it's not stunned, it's like mass produced. And I don't believe, like, I'm not a vegan. No, I'm not a vegetarian either. I eat chicken, I eat meat, yeah. But I don't think that we should be eating these like chicken and meat and stuff to like I don't think we should be eating it this regularly.
Who's a
Okay.
fan of calamari?
That is
Oh,
Not
man,
really.
that's haram.
I was just about to say, AJ,
Yeah.
do you like calamari?
No. I've tried calamari a long time ago, but I don't eat it.
Who's Hanafi?
I think we're all
I
Hanafi.
think we all are, yeah.
Yeah, I got told it's haram for all of
It's
us.
haram. I told
Why?
you.
Why?
bro.
You didn't tell me.
I
Yeah,
told Akib when we were in Portugal, and he was like, "Oh, no, kuch bhi nahi machi hai."
Astaghfirullah.
No, that's what. No,
I bet he ate a lot of calamari that day.
He did. He actually did as well.
I learned last week in the madrasa, yeah, fiqh class, that it's not fish. It's not classified as fish.
Exactly. It's
because it's not a fish.
It's a rat.
It's not a fish.
I thought it was fish.
Yeah.
What is it? Squid or something?
It's squid, isn't it? It's squid. So
Squid is not a fish, man. Come on.
exactly.
Daddu khana rahe?
I didn't know, bruv.
Wait, so is lobster and crab like not halal either?
No, they're okay.
No. In Hanafi fiqh, it's not. It's not.
No, they're okay. They're like
It's lobster locust.
uh,
For Hanafis, locust and fish is fine.
no. With regards to lobsters and crabs, it's not haram. It's makruh. So there's a difference.
But I think there's a difference of opinion on that.
I'll have to check
On
that.
Okay.
on the crab one.
I've not had lobster or crab before.
I think
but
different mother.
I've had it and it tastes very nice.
Yeah, lobster is quite sick, to be fair. So
Crab as well. Crab cakes are very, very nice.
yeah.
But yeah,
This
it's
is
a shame
life,
if we
bro.
can't.
Like, if you make a conscious effort to learn, eventually you find out and then you stop, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is, and yeah, I guess it just comes down to when we're talking about things that are halal and haram, it comes down to your intention as well. I'd say in a country like this, you can't really think about it too deep, because if you think about it too deep, then you're gonna have to live. You're gonna have to live like an Amish.
Yeah.
What's an Amish?
Grow
How do you
your
not
own
know
food.
what an Amish is?
Grow your own food. Make your own clothes. You're not allowed to have anything cooked on fire.
Amish are secluded people, right?
Yeah.
God, I hope I don't get this wrong now. They're secluded people. I don't think we've got any Amish in the UK. They predominantly exist in America. They seclude themselves from the outside world. They don't interact with anyone. I believe when their children turn 16 or 18, they let their children go out into society and see what it's like. And either their children decide to stay in the kind of society that we're in, or they come back and live as an Amish. Amish don't have any electricity, television, or anything like that. They literally live in their own secluded space and live like nomads.
Technically, having the right intention for something doesn't make it halal.
That's true. But what I'm saying is, if you can't if something is avoidable and you don't need it, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you need it doesn't make it halal.
That's true, but it also depends on what it is, right?
Okay.
Let's say you're stranded, in the middle of an ocean on a boat, and you've got nothing to eat, and there's calamari there. You're not going to avoid the calamari; you're going to eat it to survive, right?
Well, in that case, it's halal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Case by case.
Case by case, exactly, and that's what I'm saying as well. If it's avoidable, don't do it. And if it's not, and you absolutely need it, then
This
it's up to you.
This whole thing about having the right intention, or just because I've got the right intention is gonna make it fine. That's not the case, bro. Like people use that a lot nowadays, and they use it wrongly. Like, what is it? It's that saying, the end, a good end, just a good end doesn't justify the bad means. Something like that.
No, it's true. It's true.
Good end doesn't justify the wrong means. Something like that. Someone, I don't know, who was it? Isaac Newton or someone? They framed it better.
It's true. And
Was it Gandhi?
One thing that we shouldn't forget as well is when someone says my intention is good, sometimes they're not saying it generally. They're saying it in regards to themselves. But sometimes, even if you think your intention is right, your intention can also be selfish, where you're only thinking about yourself. If that makes sense.
A lot of our intentions come from our nafs. It's what's pleasing to us.
Yeah.
Like for example, I'm not going to mention names or anything. There's this music group, right? They're a Muslim music group. They make Islamic music, over instrumentals and beats, and they say that their intention is right because they're talking about the deen, essentially.
Well, that's another interesting point, because there are opinions out there that music categorically isn't haram. Like, all in all, isn't haram. So
as far as I'm aware, it's haram.
That's a strong opinion out there as well.
There is, and apparently there's a type of drum that's not haram either. It's called the duff.
Yeah, everyone knows that one, but the other one.
There's other things as well. You know, like things like the harmonica, or like that things that you can blow into and they make sound like that. I think they're allowed as well. So
no way.
Yeah.
So does that mean I can learn an instrument?
The things that you can blow into, like not tu na vajat or na awaz nikle ya strings. Things with strings is not allowed. Things with like drums and other stuff is not allowed. But if you're blowing into something and it's creating like a flute or a harmonica or something, I think they're allowed.
You know what the interesting about the deen is, it's expansive.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep saying, like, we can't restrict it in a way that we're making blanket statements over this is haram, this is halal.
I mean, we're not scholars. We don't know what is definitely haram or halal. But I guess the point is, if you believe something is haram, then avoid it.
Yeah.
I love the way you say haram.
Yeah.
I had to emphasize it for the listeners.
AJ's Arab as well, if people don't know.
Well, his tajweed isn't on point then, is it?
Yeah.
और सुनाओ यार।
बस अवैस तू चुप है यार, बड़े कुछ सुना अपने लिसनर्स ना कुछ दस।
मैं अष्टमा दिन इंदौर भी कर रहे हैं।
Oh mate, it's been an interesting pod, man. It's been one of those, like, the thingy, like the what's the word, like mellow ones. Usually, like, I think, and obviously you might know this, like from the feedback we get, like we're a bit like what's it, like rugged? Is it rugged?
No, uptight. We're just uptight.
Is that the word? Like very like robotic.
Yeah. Uptight.
Being like politically correct.
Yeah.
No, we're quite expressionless.
Yeah.
I think it's nice sometimes to just have a chat, just a normal chat. Obviously, let the viewers have an episode like this where they actually see our personalities and see what we're actually like, essentially.
At the same time, like, sometimes how we say some things that are questionable, at the same time we got to be wary as well, because they can go away and influence people. Like, I mean, that's why, like, a lot of the like Islamic things, like, it's a bit tricky to discuss in detail, because like now that music thing, if someone heard, there's opinions out there that say all in all it's not haram. So someone could go and use that, or
But look,
use it.
No. But
but look, an opinion.
saying
An opinion
we are
is an
saying there is
opinion.
a
It's not a
disclaimer.
fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a disclaimer. Like we have said multiple times that we don't know.
Yeah.
And we're not scholars. We're not scholars at all.
We're not scholars, and we're not preaching to anyone.
Yeah.
But it's important that we do talk about
Research.
these topics.
And everyone research. Everyone do their research. That's
I
where
just don't want like someone to like misconstrue it and then on the day of judgment say to me, "Yo, I heard this on Connotations," and they said
No, but you never said. But you never said that's how it is. You said
yeah.
there's a difference of opinion.
Allah inshallah.
Disclaimers out there.
Man, I wish guitar was halal, man. I'll be learning that shit, man.
Astaghfirullah.
You wish what was halal?
Guitar.
Guitar.
Guitar. Yeah.
You can't say that, man. You can't say stuff like that.
Why?
I wish this was halal. This was haram. You can't say that, bro. Like,
Yeah.
because if it's made halal and haram, the religion's being perfected, isn't it?
I know.
He's obviously having bants, man. He's not being serious.
Yeah, but then you fall into mocking the deen. It all starts.
No. I'm not mocking the deen. I'm not mocking the deen.
No, I'm
So,
just
like,
saying generally, like it all starts with banter until like without knowing someone's.
Well, God, mellow it down a bit, yeah, and use the dishum.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nah,
We've had a whole hour, yeah. He's used the soundboard for the first time.
What are you doing, bro? मैं तो पहला कलमा तैयब तैयबनी पाक आगे क्या है
La ilaha illallah
Muhammad
Rasul.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
No,
I don't think that's the right thing, what you just said.
No. Listen, it's like this, yeah. It's like anything that is impermissible, you don't do, yeah. But something that, say, for example, you enjoy doing. For example, if you were told tomorrow by a scholar that going to the gym is haram, you're gonna be like, oh, I wish it wasn't. But you're not gonna go there.
I see you.
I probably still would go to the gym though. I'm not gonna believe that it's haram.
Astaghfirullah.
What?
See, that's the difference. I would much rather say I wish it was haram.
No, he's right. He's right. You would do your own research and you would find out if it's
Yeah.
halal or haram. You wouldn't take someone's word for it.
I'm saying unanimously. I'm just giving an example.
Like fatwa pe get from the highest of the alims right now. Is that what you're saying?
Across the board, yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to one alim other day, and he was saying the same thing. Like, back in the days, people in Hazur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's time, Sahaba Kram used to gather in mosque, and they used to do such physical activities to keep them in shape and be ready for whatever coming up their way. But in these days, when we think of an alim in our head, it is like, a daplu paya sitting on a member and just eating a lot of food. And
yeah, but that's what they are nowadays, man.
But that's not the case, innit? Like, we need to really think about what real Islam is. We are mending it in our own ways, like, however we want. Like, whatever it is easy for you, not for us, like for alims or whoever they are. There are a lot of alim out there who are just doing it for their sake, And there's hadith as well that there will be a lot of alims in Jahannam just because of these things, because they're not practicing or
if there was
real Islam.
If the gym becomes haram, then we bring the gym to our houses, man.
I'll tell you a light-hearted joke here. Obviously, I've been into my gym or whatnot, and my grandma used to say to me, she used to say it to me in Punjabi, but she used to say dole na bana, you're getting gana for it.
Yeah.
Well, look, it depends.
Just to stop me from going to the gym.
If your intention was to impress the opposite gender, then
it depends how tight your shirt was as well.
Yeah.
It's not shirt, it's your whole clothes, basically. We have,
but you got to think of
Bro, I won't be honest with you. When you go gym, there's girls there, innit?
It's a valid. If an alim was to come out and say that what you just said, that it potentially could be haram, then he might have a point.
Because look, I'm
you guys need to stop, man. You guys are going to start a mad debate. Yeah, some alim's going to get some crazy idea and say, "Fatwa la do ji kudiyan na haram kam karne jamache and band kara sato." People are going to lose their heads, bro. Just stop.
We're not saying that.
The thing is, like, if I go to the gym, or like a lot of people go to the gym, they do it for their own physical and mental well-being. Like we go to the gym because we like.
Wait. And let me ask you a question then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you ever let your sister go to the gym?
Yeah, she goes to the gym.
Okay, no, but would you ever let your sister go to the gym that you go to, like the mixed gym?
She
If she goes there dressed modestly, why not?
Yeah.
But I would say that I would go with her.
No, but a lot of guys will say, nah, never that. Like never. They wouldn't allow that. But they would go themselves.
Yeah, it
Like,
depends, and it varies, doesn't it? Like they've got a gym where it's women only. Like in fact, if there's a lady section to the gym, we go to the same gym. So
oh, cha.
If an alim was to come out with a fatwa, he wouldn't just come out and make a blanket statement. He'll have his evidences, and that's what a fatwa is, bro. A fatwa is not just like, you know, two sentences and here you go, this is forbidden now. They come with evidences, bro.
Yeah, man. This stuff is like, it's like you know when we reference stuff, Harvard referencing and that we reference evidence and all that. Yeah,
it's kind of like, you know how combat sports. I think recently there was this conversation going on between an alim. Someone asked him if combat sports was haram or halal, and he replied, "If you're like Amir Khan and you get beat all the time, it's haram. But if you're like Khabib and you win, it's halal."
I saw another one where one alim said that if you're actually, no, it's a bit problematic to say that. Carry on.
Just say it, man.
Just say it. You started it now. You can't stop.
No, of course I can stop. If I think
guys already said some mad stuff, man. Just say it.
If I think there's more bad to come than benefit from what I'm about to say, I'm not going to say it, am I?
Yeah, no, that's wise. That's wise. But yeah, I mean, I do think that I would trust you know, like a fit, like somebody who's physically fit, and if they were sheikh and if they were like an alim, I would trust them over the like rest put daplu.
You need to start using that word, bro.
You know, like the ones that always do the what's that thing that you don't do?
Daplu.
No. That Yarmi Sharif. Yarmi Sharif.
Yarmi.
You know, the ones that go to a lot of those and they like look a bit around. I wouldn't really, you know, I wouldn't really.
let people enjoy sunnah foods, man.
Yeah.
For ones that look a bit round, you know, why didn't you just say, you know, for ones that are a bit out of shape?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I feel like if there was an alim who was like physically fit, you know, imagine like how the Sahaba was and stuff. Like wrestle. I know a guy from Oxford actually.
Bro, there are a lot of shuyukh that might look round, but they are strong, bro, and they do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, for example. They do the wrestling, bro. Like
they do Brazilian jiu-jitsu and Pakistani halwa. That's what they do,
what's
bro.
wrong with that?
But you know what? Like, you know the Sahaba and people at the time of the Holy Prophet, they were actually quite fit. They used to wrestle a lot. I'm talking about men. They used to wrestle a lot, and that's what they used to do in their pastime as well. Like, you know,
difference was their food was not like what our people consume nowadays, man.
Yeah.
There was like, you know, some Sahaba would eat like once every 3 days.
Yeah. And you know the maddest thing here is that the hadith that I read, you know, the one where your stomach is half third full, third full of water, right? Yeah. If you read the full hadith, it's crazy, bro. So the full hadith is not word for word, obviously, but it's if you should only eat enough so that you can straighten your back, and if you can't do that, then eat enough so that a third of your belly is a third full. A third is full of water and a third is empty.
If you think about it, like pretty much all of us, we fall into gluttony, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Not as much as you.
I'm just about to say, like, our portions, bro, are crazy. We eat again and again.
Not as much as you.
I'm part of the problem.
You're next level, man. You put like crisps in your burger and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
You dip apples into tea and eat them, bro.
Do what?
Yeah.
You put ketchup in your ice cream.
I've done that, but you stretch it, man.
But Akib, you know what I think would benefit you to get off food? Do a 3-day fast.
He
Bro,
does that. He does that anyway.
No. I'm talking about full on, like no munching, no iftari, none of that. I'm not talking about religious fast. I'm talking about cleanse.
Are you mad, bro?
No, I'm
Man,
alright.
nice. Trust me, I've done this, tried and tested. It is really good, man. It's like a reset. It's like when you restart your computer and it's
I
fast.
need. I know what I need, man. I need. Yeah, I know. I need an end goal, man. That's it.
An end goal.
Yeah, I need an end goal. I need something to get fit for. That's when I'll do it properly.
Shall we do a charity boxing match between you and AJ?
Yeah, I don't.
That would be too easy, man.
For me.
I'll do it one hand tied behind my back.
Yeah.
Bro, I'll be surprised if you can punch.
All you got to do is attack the shoulder, man.
I'll be surprised if you last longer than 5 seconds. That was perfect for it.
Yeah.
That was perfect for it. And on that note, I think we should call it a night.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually good just having a conversation, having a chat. I think we covered quite a few good topics.
I'm up for that challenge, man. I'll show you 5 seconds.
You're showing me 5 seconds, yeah? Okay, we'll see.
Down, we can do it, man.
No. AJ,
The gloves as well, sponsored by KO.
Yeah.
I can send him the video of the KO thing that you made.
I was supposed to put it up tonight, but we're doing the pod.
All right, boys.
He's gonna turn around and say it's edited.
It's fed up.
Probably is. Yeah.
No.
Charlie, it's been a pleasure and a great catching up with everyone.
Disclaimer as well, bro. Like, anything we said wrong, like
Please forgive us.
Everything was said lightheartedly.
Yeah.
Nothing was a fact. It was all just an opinion.
Yeah.
And it was just friends just having a chat.
And we didn't want to offend anybody. If we did, we apologize sincerely.
that's not an excuse. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. This was episode 36 of Connotasians.
Allah Nawale.
See you next week.
Yo, hit soundboard.
Huh?
We'll hit soundboard.
Oh, is that outro?
Music is last there.
It's a bit haram still, but
Yeah.
Right.
Who's turning off recording?
I'm turning it off. One sec.